I sat up slowly. My corporate-trained instincts instantly told me that my environment had changed completely. The sheets beneath my hands weren't cheap cotton. They were heavy, pure silk. What kind of joke is this? The voice that came out of my throat wasn't my own. It was deeper, smoother, and had a naturally arrogant tone that made me narrow my eyes. I swung my legs over the edge of the massive bed and stepped onto a soft, hand-woven rug across the room. I caught sight of a full-length mirror with a gold frame. I walked over. My movements were perfectly smooth, completely free of the usual lower back pain from my 34 years of office life. I closed my eyes and searched my mind for clues. Within seconds, a flood of new memories mixed with my own. The Solano Empire, the noble house of Ashe, Lord Kaelen von Asche. A bitter smile touched my new lips. I knew exactly where I was. This wasn't a parallel universe. It was the world of the Crown of Solano, a romance web novel I had read late at night during boring corporate conference calls just to stay awake. And Kaelen von Asche. He wasn't just a side character. He was the main villain of the story's first big arc. In the original plot, Kaelen was the spoiled, arrogant second son of Duke Ashe. He was obsessed with the story's heroine, Lady Lyra, and deeply jealous of the brilliant Crown Prince Cassian. Because of this, Kaelen made terrible political mistakes. His story ended brutally at age 22, when the Crown Prince discovered his treason and ordered his public execution. "Let's check the date," I muttered. Looking around the room, I walked over to a dark wood desk, where a heavy brass calendar sat. The dial was set to the 14th of the harvest month. My mind immediately flagged this date in bright red: the Imperial Autumn Banquet. The exact event where Kaelen puts deadly poison into Crown Prince Cassian's wine glass was scheduled for the 17th of the harvest month. I had exactly 3 days before the event that would cause my execution. A soft knock sounded at the heavy wooden door. "My Lord Kaelen." A shaking, nervous voice called out. "Duke Ashe wants to see you in his study to discuss your manners and preparation for the upcoming royal banquet. Enter," I commanded calmly. The door opened, and a young servant in a clean gray uniform stepped inside. He kept his head bowed low, his shoulders tense. According to Kaelen's memories, the old owner of this body used to throw heavy glass cups at servants just for breathing too loudly. "Bring me a cup of black tea." "No sugar," I ordered, sitting down at the desk. "And bring me the financial record book of my personal inheritance from the estate registry." The servant blinked, lifting his eyes in absolute shock. "My lord, the financial records, but you usually leave all money matters to the head chamberlain. Did I ask for your opinion?" I said, keeping my voice completely flat. I used the exact same quiet authority I used when firing bad board members in my past life. The servant bowed quickly and rushed out of the room. Left alone, I tapped my fingers on the desk, planning my survival strategy. In most stories like this, the main character wakes up with a convenient system, a floating AI screen that gives out missions, warnings, and cheat codes. I waited for a few minutes, staring into empty space, testing if a robotic voice would speak in my mind. Nothing. No screens. No cheat skills. Good, I thought. A system is something I cannot control. My own memory and corporate strategy are much more reliable to survive. Running away immediately was not a good option if the second son of a duke disappeared 3 days before a major royal party. It would cause a massive manhunt. It would ruin my family's name and make me a wanted criminal before I even had a chance to start a new life. I had to play the long game. I had to go to that banquet. But instead of carrying out a clumsy murder plot that would get me killed, I was going to use that event to completely change Kaelen von Asche's future. My goals were simple. First, stop the assassination plot without acting like a hero or looking suspicious. 2, give up my claim to the family inheritance to satisfy my power-hungry older brother. And demanding father. 3, turn my small assets into cash and retire early to the family's forgotten, freezing northern estate, far away from the toxic politics of the capital city. The servant returned 10 minutes later. His hands shook as he placed a hot porcelain cup of tea and a thick, leather-bound record book on the desk. "Excellent. You may leave," I said, Looking at the book as the door closed, I opened the records and recalled Kaelin's knowledge of the Solano Empire's geography and plants. If I was going to retire early to the cold north, I needed a way to make money to live a comfortable life. According to the novel's deep details, the frozen northern mountains of the Ash territory were considered useless, empty land. But I remembered a small detail from chapter 142 of the book. Those exact cold valleys were the only place where the winterfrost orchid grew wild. When processed correctly using basic plant science, this rare flower created a revolutionary skin moisturizer and a highly valuable, warming luxury tea. The original characters completely ignored it because they were too busy fighting for the throne. A slow, genuine smile spread across my face. I took a sip of the bitter black tea, a monopoly on luxury skincare and premium tea in a quiet, peaceful countryside. Sounds like the perfect retirement plan. I had 3 days to face the most dangerous, highly intelligent crown prince in the empire, drop out of a dangerous political game, and convince everyone I was completely harmless.